Hi everyone. Today's topic is conditional statements. The lesson objective reads that students will be able to write the inverse, converse, and contrapositive of a conditional statement and analyze the truth value of each statement. So our title on our page should be conditional statements. And let's begin our notes. A conditional statement is a statement that can be written in the form if P, then Q. Let's box this. If P, then Q. So for example, if I am hungry, then I eat. If I am hungry, then I eat. That is a very basic conditional statement, okay? Next, a conditional statement is broken down to two parts. We have the hypothesis and we have the conclusion. Just like in science, a hypothesis and a conclusion. So the hypothesis is the P part of the conditional, the part following the word if. So in this case here, the hypothesis, this example statement would be, I am hungry, okay? I am hungry. If I'm hungry, we don't know if we're hungry, it's a hypothesis, okay? Next, the conclusion is the Q part of the conditional. The part following the word then. So then I eat. So here the conclusion would be I eat. But you eat only if you're hungry, so that's why it's a conditional. It's conditional on the hypothesis, okay? So lastly, to show that a conditional statement is false, you need to only find one counter example. So can you think of a situation in which the statement, if I'm hungry, then I eat, is false? Is there a counterexample? Let's say you're sitting in the drive-thru at McDonald's and you reach down to get your wallet and it's not there. Are they gonna give you your food? No. Are you about to eat? No. Are you still hungry? Yes. So is this conditional always true? No. We could say this one is false, okay? Moving on to this chart right here. The conditional has a formula. That's what the P's and the Q's are. P, this arrow means then, Q. So if P, then Q. Now you could also flip the P and the Q, flip the conditional, and that would give you what's called the converse. The converse reads if Q, then P. So the conclusion and the hypothesis switch, okay? So instead of being if I'm hungry, then I eat, it would be if I eat, then I'm hungry. The next one, this little symbol right here, we're gonna think of this as like the opposite, using the word not. So if I am not hungry, then I do not eat. We call that statement the inverse. The inverse is the opposite of the conditional, okay? The conditional is P then Q. The inverse is not P then not Q. Same order, it just has a not in front of it. And the last statement is called contrapositive. The contrapositive is basically the opposite of the converse, not Q, then not P, okay? So for these directions down here, identify the hypothesis and the conclusion of each statement. If you do that, it's gonna make finding the converse, the inverse, the contrapositive much easier because you're just gonna have to fill in the Q and the P, okay? Next, we're gonna write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of each conditional statement. So the first statement we're given is if today is Thanksgiving, then today is Thursday. So the hypothesis follows the word if. Today is Thanksgiving. That's our P, that's our hypothesis. Then today is Thursday. That is the conclusion, that's the Q. Okay, so now we're just gonna use these formulas here to come up with the converse, inverse, and contrapositive, okay? This is the conditional that we're given. Okay. So first, the converse. Converse. To find the converse, you flip the statement, the conditional, from P then Q. It becomes Q then P. So Q, today is Thursday, then today is Thanksgiving. Let's write our converse. If today is Thursday, then today is Thanksgiving. Next, we're going to find the inverse. Remember, the formula for inverse is not Q, then not P. Same as the conditional, but you just put not in front of the conclusion and the hypothesis. So, for this one here, if the original statement was if today is Thanksgiving, that was our original hypothesis, we're going to just put not. If today is not Thanksgiving. Then today is not Thursday. Last statement, the contrapositive. Contrapositive. If today is not Thursday, then today is not Thanksgiving. Remember, the formula for contrapositive is not Q, then not P. If not the conclusion, then not the hypothesis. The conclusion is today is Thursday. So if today is not Thursday, then today is not Thanksgiving. Okay, a big takeaway from this is that just because the original statement, the conditional, is true, does not mean that all the statements following it are true. You have to assess the truth value of each of these statements independently, okay? So let's look at the conditional first. If today is Thanksgiving, then today is Thursday. If you cannot think of a counterexample that makes this false, then you're gonna say that the statement is true, okay? So can you think of a situation where today's Thanksgiving, but it's not Thursday? No, you can't, because Thanksgiving always falls on a Thursday. So this statement, the conditional, is true. The converse, if today is Thursday, then today is Thanksgiving. That's easy to come up with the counterexample for. For example, 2 days from now would be December 10th. That would be a Thursday, but that is not Thanksgiving. So we're going to say that that is false. The converse is false. Not every Thursday is Thanksgiving. The inverse, if today is not Thanksgiving, then today is not Thursday. Can we think of a situation where that one is false? If today is not Thanksgiving, then today is not Thursday. So let's use today. Today is Tuesday. Today is not Thanksgiving. That's true. But let's use December 10th again. If today is not Thanksgiving, so December 10th is not Thanksgiving, then it's not Thursday. Is that true? Well, that's true, but does that disprove this statement? Yes, it does, okay? Just because the day is not Thanksgiving does not mean that it is not Thursday. So this one is false. And lastly, the contrapositive. If today is not Thursday, then today is not Thanksgiving. Is that one always true? If today is not Thursday, so that's any day of the week besides Thursday, then today is not Thanksgiving. That one is always true because, again, Thanksgiving has to fall on a Thursday. So if today is not Thursday, then you're guaranteed that it's also not Thanksgiving. So that last one is true. When we go to our next lesson on biconditional statements, the truth value is very important. So for today, we're just kind of practicing identifying counterexamples and using that to determine if each of these statements is true or false, okay? So on the back, I have some more examples for you. These are some more conditionals. If an animal is a cat, then it has 4 paws. You can try that one. If you live in Los Angeles, then you live in California. If 2 angles are congruent, then they have the same measure. If you are 16 years old, then you are a teenager. Okay. Try these on your own. Remember, the first thing you should do is identify your hypothesis and your conclusion. The hypothesis follows if, the conclusion follows the word then. And then remember the formulas in this chart. Good luck.